Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for the invitation to address conference. First of all, an apology from me. As you might hear, I'm suffering from a real serious bout of man flu, or as my wife said, a runny nose. So I'm the head of agriculture for HSBC. I've been involved in banking for around about 20 years now, but I have had a lifetime in agriculture. So much so that when I was sitting there listening to the other panellists, my mother sent me a message telling me that our most recent soil report was in for the farm, and what did it mean? So I'm sure one of you good audience members will be able to help me decipher that information later on, and I'll be able to look really great in front of my mother and father later by telling them exactly what it means. So as you can see, I'm still involved in the family farm in southwest Scotland. And look, from a farming and agriculture perspective in banking, this is still seen as an exceptionally resilient sector, regardless of what part of the industry you're in. Phenomenal balance sheets and a phenomenal skill base there to be able to alter what you do and deal with all of those volatile things that the panel members put up. Now, many will have seen me put this slide up before. The squiggly line that you see there is the price of any product that you might actually deal in. And the three coloured straight lines, the red, the amber and the green, represent various costs of production. The red line at the top is a high cost of production. And from my point of view, if I see that, I start to have concerns over productivity of that particular business, how competitive it might be now and in the longer term. And then I would also be starting to think, about cost management and what the structure of that cost base might look like. For an amber business, that's kind of in the middle. That's maybe, your average cost of production. Pretty stable business generally, but probably wants to start considering price risk management. And I think we're going to talk a bit about that later on. And also just keep an eye on that cost base. And then the green line, low cost of production, that is the business that ultimately has all the tools to be able to manage all of the volatility that you've seen put up before and retain cash and grow. And the way I look at that type of business is they're the last to lose money in a downturn. They lose the least. They start making money before everybody else, and then when the prices are high, they'll make the most. So they've always got the ability to grow. Now, you might ask, why is it important to know what your cost of production is? And actually, for me, it's the only way that you can plan an effective financial risk management strategy. You have loads of risks in this industry. But from a financial perspective, knowing what your cost base is gives you the platform to think about how you start to manage your risk. And I think it's also the only way you can start to think about whether you need to change or whether you want to change. And then start planning how you'll go about putting that change into place in your business. Now, clearly, if you're a green line producer, that gives an excellent starting point. And in my mind, it is the ultimate weapon in the financial resilience toolkit. And as I said before, even thinking about how to manage change, you need to know your baseline. So, focus on that as a building block. And after that, in my mind, managing change is all about having a plan and a goal to go with that. Now, you may need support to help you achieve that goal, so lean on industry colleagues, advisors, neighbours, banks for support to help you get there. Think also about what skills you'd like to see and seek out training, and I think it was maybe Tom that touched on that earlier, training and coaching and getting off farm to learn things, is not something that we see a great deal of. And like Tom, I've been in the Worcester Company of Farmers course and all of those things that you can do out there just to learn a little bit more and get yourself skilled up. I would really encourage you to seek out and do. And ultimately, change is really difficult. Whether you're in a farm business or in a bank, change is a really, really difficult thing to deal with and cope with. So don't be disheartened when things go against you, and just take it in small, manageable steps. Now, I'm sure we're going to cover a lot more during the panel session that's coming up, so I'll leave it there for now. But I think my parting message is organisations like mine do want to help, but ultimately the first steps in all of this start within the farm gate. Thank you.